those magnificent men in their flying machines. They go up to the up, up, they go down to the up, down.
Hiya. Right, I've got my famous cameraman with me now. Right, he's all the way from America, which he really is, isn't it? So you can speak, Mr.
Yes, I am allowed to speak.
You have come back from Boston, haven't you? I need him back, you see, because I ain't very clicked up with it. So, like on the previous video, the introduction video of this stuff, I've come next stage now is and I explained it was up till 2 o'clock Saturday morning, not realising the time. Anyway, so we'll get to it. Stop mumbling, as I say. Okay, so if the cameraman can pan down to the plan, please. Right, so I've decided I'm going to make a start on the wings first of all. And so obviously the ribs. So here we are with the ribs. So you've got your ribs here, that's going to be the main rib. Now, I'd like to say, there's plenty of other people do it differently, but this is the way I do it. Now, bearing in mind, like I said in the introduction video, is that I'm saving up to buy the Sarek Gloucester Gladiator kit. So this is just to give me something to do in between. So I'm using all the spare off bits of balsa and strips that I've got. So obviously things might be slightly different to the plan, but it'll be necessarily the same, if that makes sense. I don't really want to put any more expense than I have to, if you get the drift. Right, so here you are, we've got the rib. Right, so this is the main rib. You count up all your ribs, which is obviously on the wings and your middle sections, and it works out there's 50, all in all, which is a lot. So you've got your rib sections there, and you just count through them. There's doubles there, if you notice. See, well, that's actually a capping strip. So, but anyway, if you have more than you need, that's not bad. So you've ascertained your strips that you've got for your ribs. Now, as you can see, I've drawn them out. Now, how to do that is you get a piece of carbon paper. Okay. I've also sellotaped everything that I'm going to mark on, so it doesn't destroy the plan. You put this underneath on a piece. There you go. So you put that under there on the piece of balsa that you're going to use as your template, and you draw around it, okay? And then you draw out where necessary, where the spars and all that go, and the bits and pieces, odds and sods, okay? So you've done that. So that's what you'll come out with. You can cut it out. It's only a piece of scrap balsa, and you cut it out. Okay, so that's that. So once you've done that, but before you cut all these out, make it as a whole rib. So it's just one complete blank, as I call it, right? Before you do all this. And then we go with that. And then what we do is it's self-explanatory. You just get your sheet of balsa and you get as many out of it, many blanks as you can out of the one sheet. Okay, so, and you just get a biro. I find it easier with a biro pen. And you just draw around it all. Okay, and just get as many as possible. Okay, and on this particular sheet, the reason I numbered them was just so I knew basically how many I was getting up to, because you can get a bit confused, especially at 2 o'clock in the morning. So you got them all. You've got your template out. Okay, now once you've drawn them all out, shorten the video. Once you've drawn them all out like that, I then look to see what I've actually got in stock, to see what I needed and what I could get away with. And that's when I made the template up. I found the various spars and stuff that I could use, because mine's are going to be slightly different, because like I said, I'm only using what I've got in stock, the spruce and that. So you've templated them out and use the biro again. You just put the piece over and draw around it. The reason I say draw around it is because you're going to use this to cut out, and when you put the biro in, I'll demonstrate. So you've got your piece here, it's got to be a bit loose, see? So it's a bit loose because this is your template. When you put it in and you put the biro in, draw around it to cut out the pieces, it'll be a lovely tight fit then. Okay, if that makes sense, because of the space the bink takes up. Right, so we've done that. Okay, so there's your template. You write on it so you know that's the rough one. Because a certain person said, oh, I'll put right on that, and I'd already done it. So then you get your pieces, and then, now this is important, this bit. So if the cameraman can get around to it. Right, see a nice sharp blade, which is a must. And what I do, I mean people do it differently, but I do it this way. Right, I tend to just like, don't try and cut through it all in one go, because it's not going to happen. So you just go around it and track it. That's the word to use, isn't it, cameraman? Come on. You track it. So you just gently go around it, not too deep. Take your time. I'm just rushing because I'm used to doing them now, but you see what I mean? Now if you go over, I'll make a mistake deliberately. So if you go like up and down like that, it doesn't matter. as long as you don't go under it, under the line. See now, so you track it. Right. Same there. Okay. Just get it nice. See, just like so. Now bearing in mind you've got 50 of these to do, so I'd say once you can get a bit stir crazy doing them. Alright. So have a break, have a cup of tea or something if you drink tea. And you just keep going. And you've tracked it once, so the next time you'll be surprised that the blade won't go amiss because you've made a track on it. See? And that's it. This is basically it. And it does pay to have a self-healing board underneath because A, your blade lasts a bit longer, and B, it's just easier. Alright, so you see now, and there you go, one rib. Okay, so there's your rib. Now I'm going to obviously do them all because there's no point, and you just follow suit for the rest of them all the way through. Now if we get the cameraman, I've still got him because he's very in big popular demand. Right, so if we just get rid of this for a sec, and I'll show you. Here's what I've done earlier. Okay, you get where I've cut the sheets, you just get the packs of them, right? And as you can see, I have been busy, so you get so many in a pack, like so. Right, so what I tend to do is that because you want to get them all sort of reasonably the same, just get them back on the flat, get a nice flat surface like so, and you just get a piece of flat end to get them all matched up as best you can. Because they won't all be perfect. It's just not when you're cutting them by hand. If you can get a CNC cutter, somebody who's got one of them, then perfect. Okay, so you get them like that and they're nice and rough. Okay, so that's all you need. I've got one end, tapping. And then what I tend to do is that amount of group, and I'd sand them all to shape by hand. Just sand them so they're evenly look, you know, they're the same. Because when you cut with a blade, sometimes with the blade, whatever that's, because that's the blade. When you're cutting, it goes to an angle, and that's what you do. And you just get a block. You've got them all nice and flat and everything. And you just sand them with a block. If I knew where that was, I would probably. Oh yeah, there it is. He's wandering in there. See, and you just get the block, and you just sand them roughly, so they're all roughly the same. Okay, and that's how you do it. Right, and then what you do is you take a couple of them, right, and you get the next bunch you're going to sand, and you put them with it, so you know that you've got a guide. Everything's a guide. Okay, and then you just keep doing it until you've got them all done. Right, so for example, say we've done all that. I've still got the camera. You're watching what you're doing with that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Yeah, you know, I'm not paying you £15 an hour just to be a dosser.
Oh, no.
Alright, so we'll use this as an example. So you've got them all cut now, you've cut all your 50 ribs, which so then you address this like so. So it's very time consuming, and I must admit that you've got to bear in mind this is not a kit, so you know, you're doing it all by hand. This is what you call proper handmade. And this is what I meant by making them a bit worse. So you just mark them out. Okay. There is another way of doing this. You could put them all together and then cut them, which I'll explain in a minute. Right, but personally speaking, I just like doing it this way. So you mark them out like so. Okay. And same with that piece. Alright, so you've got them all like so. Alright, and there you have it. And then you just get your scalpel, and what I tend to do is just do the legs first. Put them in like so. It's just a matter of. Right. Again, take your time and just flick it out. Okay, that's that one. £15 an hour. You don't come cheap, you do?
Nope.
No. So, my mate Tony, the Spielberg. Eventually, as well, I might add, you get to used to the size of the board you're putting in the spars. So you know, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you get it slightly over or under because the glue will cover the space that you need. I'll pop off now. Let's see. Yeah, and this built. I might add this time round. The moth that I built in the previous video, I listened to Star Trek for like 1,000 million times whilst I was building the video. And this video, I'm going back to War of the Worlds because I can't think of anything else to listen to that doesn't have to keep getting changed over, if that makes sense. So I'm quite happy with that anyway. So, but obviously because of copyright reasons, I'm not allowed to play it on the video. And so there you have it. Right. I'm only going to do this the once, you know. And then, there you go. So there you have it. Right, so that gives you the idea, and, you know, and then obviously you offer up the, you know, I'll just get a piece. You offer up a piece just to make sure that it looks all right. See, look, and that goes in perfect, see? And that's exactly how you want it, you know. Who needs CNC, time? Do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, I wish somebody comes along. These CM printers nowadays, or cutters, done in seconds, and they're all perfect. You know, but then I think that's the easy way. This is a proper hand-built. Okay. Right. So that I would say was probably the best thing to do. Can't wait anything else now. So obviously this is, I've saved the last sheet, best till last. So I'll cut the rest of these out, all 12 left or 11, and then I'll process them that I've just shown you on the video, all joking aside, here to get these done. And then again, I would say study the plan, and because on the plan, obviously, some of the ribs that you've got are not going to need all that, but I'm going to do them all like that because obviously when it comes to bits like this, in the centre section wing centre sections, they're going to be chopped. But you know, it's easier just to do it all in one go, if that makes sense, because then you don't have to keep going back to adjusting it all. And then that'll be that. Okay, that's the key. And again, your wing rib. Alright, this is for the moth, and you can see now that it's slightly wrong. So that's another, you do everything I showed you, everything you need, I might add, is done the same way with the carbon paper underneath. Same I do with that, with the templates for the root ribs. Okay, because on this wing they're slightly different for the top and bottom wings on this plane. Okay, and obviously it'll be a lot different build from this lark. Right. Okay. Oh, and I might add, I had a bit of luck. Okay, I found. I'm doing all this because I've only got a cameraman for one day. Right, I found these were spare. These legs come off a sopwith puppeteer. Yeah, sopwith pup. Okay, and it just so happens that these legs actually match exactly the same as in this plan, the legs for this plan. So that saves a lot of hassle. Okay, see? So it always pays to keep stuff. Bearing in mind, recycle and all that junk. Okay? And that's about it, I think, and then all said and done. Okay. So onwards and upwards. Okay then. Cheerio. Bye.
Those magnificent men, those magnificent men, those magnificent men in the fly.